Personal coherence, um, social, and then global are the three kind of main areas, and they all interact with each other, of course. So our focus over the last 25 or so years has primarily been more on the personal coherence side, developing tools, techniques, technologies that allow people to really get their own internal systems coherently aligned and working together harmoniously, and maximizing people's performance, but their ability to self-regulate, be happier, healthier people. And ultimately that really means aligning with the intuitive intelligence of the heart. The global coherence has been in parallel with that for probably about the last 10 years. And that's where we're looking at the literal, when I say this, communication with and interaction with the earth itself, the energetic environment, and I mean the magnetic field and stuff of Earth, and how we are, basically the hypothesis there is that we're all connected to the Earth's fields, which creates this giant information field that we're all contributing to, and we affect it and it affects us. So it's really about managing emotions, and it's not necessarily walking around all the time in these elevated emotions, but becoming more intelligent about how we use our emotional energy, how we expend energy, and how we renew it. So I kind of think of it like an inner battery. We all wake up with a certain amount of energy in the morning. So the techniques of HeartMath are really about how do we manage the emotions. So the techniques really involve shifting the activity of the heart, so you're sending a different message to the brain, which it then interprets. And if we do that enough times, that through neuroplasticity type processes, because the brain can change, we develop new what I call them familiar neural loop patterns. So this becomes more automatic, and that's when it's transformational for people. So I hope I'm making sense. So it's not always trying to walk around this elevated state, even though yes, we want to increase the ratios of really feeling good, and having more kindness in our life and appreciation and compassion. But ultimately, it's really about self-regulating our emotions, our emotional diet, I like to call it. But that really happens when we learn to access a larger part of ourself, what I call the heart's intuitive guidance. So we can call this, depending upon your culture you're from and your background, some people might call it their higher self, right? Or if you're like David Bohm, a physicist, implicate order, that part of yourself. It's all the same thing. Soul, spirit, right? Here at HeartMath, we just call it our larger self, to take any kind of religious connotations out of it. But I'm suggesting that's a very real part of our undivided wholeness, and that we access that through the heart. Not as a metaphor, but we mean that quite literally. You can use this kind of a technique in the moment that you're starting to feel frustrated or impatient or anxious or overwhelmed. So it's not so much about meditation. We do have a heart-focused meditation technique, but the real key here is self-regulating and making these shifts in day-to-day life in the moment. So we don't put our body and our system through all the depletion. And when we're in that heart coherent state, that neural signal actually enhances brain function. So we're able to make better decisions and better choices in the moment. This type of non-local intuition that I'll put in this category is really you could think of it as our inner GPS, our inner guidance system. So as we learn to really access that flow of intuitive information, that's really what elevates consciousness and allows us to be more aware of and then be in charge of and self-regulate our emotional world. If we're broadcasting, or probably much more, but for sure our emotional states in the information in the field. So you can think of this as our personal field environment. So what we're feeling inside, whether it's kindness and appreciation and compassion or frustration and anger and so on, it isn't just inside of us, it's extending into our field environment in a measurable way. So then the next step in that series of experiments was to ask, okay, we know we're radiating the fields and we know that different information is being carried. Is this detected by other people? Right, so this is where the energetic sensitivity comes in, and also it's important in the social realm.